So what's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are preparing for a new animal to come to the farm in the next, I think it's 2 days. We're 2 days away from a new animal. Not a cow, it's not a cow, it's a new species, but we got to prepare for it. So if you want to see what that animal is going to be, consider hitting that subscribe button down below. But today we're back at it building our DIY portable electric fence. Why? Because when we bring those animals in here, this is our permanent paddock, they are not trained to electric. They are not trained to electric, and their species really hasn't been trained to electric. So, gotta work on that, gotta make sure that, they can fit into our system. And our system is moving the animals every day with a single strand of polywire. But right now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna build a 5-strand DIY portable electric fence. So one, it's a few more wires for them to get used to right off the bat. And we might keep them in this permanent paddock here for a little bit longer than normal, just because we want them to really get trained to it. Because if they don't get trained to it, we're just gonna sell them. I mean, this is kind of an experiment. I'm like 95, 96% sure that this is gonna work. Not 100, not 100%. Why? Because it's not something that's done regularly. So with us setting up correctly and us training the multi-strand wire and then going down to the hopefully one wire, it should work out okay. It should work out okay. I don't think that we should have any issues past, probably the first week or so. Hopefully it's actually a couple days. But right now, I'm gonna get into the step-by-step process of how to build this portable electric fence. Come with me. So I'm out here where I wanna build it, because what's great about this is you can make it any custom length that you'd like, and then you can pick it up and move it around. So this is all the materials that we really need. We need our $1 fiberglass fence post, we need a drill, a vise, our polywire, and a rubber mallet. Don't forget gloves, okay? If you touch these after you drill them, not before you drill them, after you drill them, you're gonna have fiberglass in your hands for a week, okay? And that's gonna suck. So what we're gonna do is measure out on the post where we want our wires, and then we're gonna drill them, string the wire through, and get them all set up. All right, so these posts are 48 inches long, and we're gonna go and consider that about 6 to 7 inches of this is gonna go into the ground. So we're gonna make our first mark, so that takes us to about 41 inches. So we're gonna go 6 inches up from that, which would be 35 inches, and make our first mark. Okay? Now this is if you're going backwards. You can do it the other way and be a lot, probably more efficient that way, and not have to do any math. Now, we wanna probably go 6 inches up from that, which would be 29. Make a second mark. Then we can probably go 8, so 21. Then we'll look at, okay, we have 21 inches to play with. We'll split the difference because one of them is going to go right on the top. So we'll go right around 12, which would be another 9 inches. And then our last wire right on top. Now, the way that we do this, vise, pull, then put on your gloves, because you don't want fiberglass in your hands for like a week. Made that mistake already. This is a 1/8 drill bit, and then you're gonna make your mark. Okay, we got one post done. See, 2 holes on top, then 1, 2, 3 single holes, and then 2 holes down here on the bottom. Why? Because when we thread this, okay, we want to keep this pole in place on the strands. You don't want it sliding back and forth. That way they're all evenly spaced, and it's easy to move, easy to set up, and you're not over there trying to drag poles around. When you thread this, you're gonna go through, then go around, and then go through. So you need 2 holes, okay? Very, very important. This doesn't work without the 2 holes here and the 2 holes here, because on the top and the bottom, it'll hold it in place. It'll be able to slide through here, no problem. That's not a big deal. But here, this is where you absolutely need the poles to stay in place. So top and bottom holes, always 2. Now, you can come through and add more holes if you want to run more wire. I mean, that's up to you, depending on what you want to hold in. If I'm trying to hold in any kind of poultry, probably going to do more wires. If it's geese, turkeys, I think this might be okay for more adult ones. But for like chickens or ducks, I would go through and probably at least double it, even triple up the holes, and I think it would hold it. But now we have to go through and do this like 5 or 6 more times, so let's get at it. Alright, once you got all your posts done, now go ahead and set them up in a straight line. Try not to do any angles, it'll drive you crazy. It's a mistake that I made last time, and just do it in a straight line, okay? Now, how far apart do you want these? The first one that I made, I did 12.5 feet. They can go a little bit farther. I'm gonna try going 15 feet. But again, you can make it as wide as you want in between posts. Why? Because it's so custom. Alright, now that we got this in a straight-ish line, good enough, it doesn't have to be perfect, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start stringing the wire through. Now, there's a very specific order to do this, okay? You want to start on the top and bottom wires first. Why? Because it'll start to bend in a little bit. Start on the top one, then go to the bottom one, then go back to the second to the top one, then go to second to the bottom, and then run the middle one, okay? Do this because it'll save you a bunch of headache that I learned last time trying to retension everything. You want to try and keep everything as kind of rigid as possible, and by doing the top and bottom and working to the middle, it'll even the tension out properly, and that way you don't have to go back and retension it at all. And if you see in the background the cows doing their thing, messing around, well, my top 3 cows, the top 3 lead cows, are in heat right now, and Jordan is over there doing nothing. Jordan, do your thing. Come on, dude. We want calves. We want calves, and we want them soon. So, you know, he's a little bit young. He should be ready to go in the next month or 2. So, come on, Jordan. By the way, his name is Jordan because he's a bull. Get it? Haha. So let's just go string them through, and I'll show you the end result. All right, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about how to string this up. Now, kind of twist off the wire, make it nice. Go through. I like going through the bottom one. Why? Because I feel like, I don't know, it adds height to the second, when you go through again. So pull the wire through, go all the way until you don't want this super tight. You just want it like just up off the ground. Then you come back with the same wire and run it through the top hole. Pull that through, and now you create almost like a knot, and when you're moving the wire around, this will stay in place and the bottom one will stay in place. Then it'll allow the other wires to slide through down there. Pretty simple. Now on the end wire, you want to do something a little bit different, okay? What you want to do is you want the 2 holes, but you want to have, you don't want that much wire hanging off, okay? You want about this much, okay? Because what you're gonna do is go through, or you're gonna go through, tie off a knot all the way at the base. Okay, I'll show you. Some of you are gonna go, why are you doing this? I'll show you. Because when you want to string these together, it's good enough. What you want to do is, see, this will hold the tension there, but this go through the top. Just like so. Then what you're gonna do is come here, tie a loop. Now, I'm not the best at tying knots, never a Boy Scout, wasn't my thing, but figure out a knot, whatever you want to call it, to leave right here, or a loop to leave right here. Why? Because If you want to tie this off to another, one of these that you make, all you have to do is loop it through the next hole, or have you know, electric gate handle go right there. So again, not Mr. Knotman here, no square knot, and that's about it. You can figure out how to do like the noose kind of knot. Don't know what that's called, but that works. So either clip on or put this through the next one of these. Really simple. Now what we want to do is we want to go back and tension these properly, so that way it looks like that. So now after you tension it, this is what you're left with. See, through, around, and through. It's not going anywhere. And you know what, it's not super tight, but you know what, you don't want it super tight because you can always go in and adjust it, but it looks pretty good. Now at the end, let me show you that. On this side, you just want to tie it off here, but be sure to leave a lot extra wire. Why? I'm going to show you, because right here is where we're actually going to connect our electric gate handle, and then this is how we electrify all the other strands. So make sure you just leave enough that it hits the floor, and we'll show you after we string the rest of them up. All right, we're just about done. This worked out perfectly. Now you might say the top wire is sagging just a little bit, but when you come over and you attach it to something like just a regular step-in post, you'll be able to, that's why you have this loop right here too, you'll be able to pull it and it'll all go rigid. So start that way you don't have any of the bottom wire sagging. Top one, that's not so bad. The top wire sags just a little bit, not a big deal. Why? Because it'll still work. But this fence right here, this is a little over, this is about 60 feet actually, yeah. So 4 sections of 15 feet. This whole deal right here cost me like 15 bucks to build. Not hard at all. All you have to do, all we did with these wires is just thread them through, tie them off at the end, come back over on that side over there, do like a hangman's knot if you want to call it that. That way it kind of keeps the tension. And look at that. Works out beautifully. Now, the only thing that we have left to do, I thought I had an extra one. I could go steal one off of one of my lines, but don't really want to do that right now. But the only thing I left to do is slide in an electric gate handle right here on this side. So you'd slide it in, it'd end up right about here. Tie that off, then tie it off. Then you'd weave this around the different wires all the way down. Don't do the bottom one, it's gonna short out. Just don't mess with it, okay? That's just to hold it in place. Do it on these, weave it through these 3 wires, and guess what? You'll have electric on all 4 of these, all 4 of the top ones. That right there, a $15 portable electric fence that you can move just about anywhere. And it so happens that the paddocks that I have them in right here, they're close to about 60 feet. So I'll probably adjust them a little bit to fit this. That way all I have to do is move this. Betty, can I please talk? Okay? Her, Yoli, and Ellie are just on one today. Right there, there's Ellie. So I'll move these. I'll adjust the paddock size to where this right here, I can section it off to where I can put this and section off a section to where the cows and the animals that this is gonna hold in won't jump it, won't go underneath it. They can't go through it because there's too many wires, obviously can't go underneath it. But this right here is an easier, more just stable, easier to move electric fence. Look at Betty, she's just on one. I know, okay, chill. So this right here, again, you loop it through another one of these and it all goes tight. So it's okay to have a little bit of sag, especially in the beginning, but step in post, no problem. So hopefully that will answer anybody's questions that I had on the last video where I showed that I could make something like this. If you have any questions, leave one down in the comment and I'll I'll try and do my best to get to them and answer them. We're getting a lot of comments lately, so very good thing. Thank you for that, because it just really helps the channel, and appreciate the, you know, just the engagement. It's cool getting to know a lot of you guys, but with that comes a little bit of a delay on my end to be able to answer them. I try and answer comments like 2 or 3 times a week. I'll just go sit for, you know, it takes a little bit, and go through and answer them. So if it's not right, so if it's not instant, just don't feel bad. It's just the way I have to do things now, because we're just, you know, the channel's growing. So thank you guys very much. I'll finish this off later to where, you know, it's just the gate handle and then wrap it through. It's really simple. But if you want to see more stuff like this, and especially what this is intended, I'll say intended because I don't know if it's going to work yet, to hold in, hit that subscribe button down below. Ring the notification bell so you get notified when we put up new videos. Hit the like button because it really does help with the YouTube algorithm, and drop a comment if you like, alright? Until next time, see ya. Bye.